Miami wide receiver Xavier Restrepo has become one of my favorite players to watch in this class, and he's extremely underrated. So let's dive into the tape and talk about what makes him a top 100 prospect. Honestly, probably goes on day 2, early 3rd round. I can see him being useful. All these different things that you want your slot receiver to do, he can do all of them, and then he adds a lot more as a blocker. You see him coming here as the slot. I think you could play a little bit online, a little offline with him. He's 5'10", 197 pounds. Like, he is not a small slot receiver. He is a big wide receiver. Here, you get him out here, and then he's just putting guys into the dirt. You get another one right here where he goes on a double team. This is a double team. You've got 1, 2. He's going to see Mansour Delane, who I really like out of Virginia Tech, coming in here. So he's going to shed the block off to his other receiver, and then he's going to go lay a hit on this guy. This is what you want from all types of football players. There he's throwing the body around as a blocker here, just seeing the pancake again, throwing him down with a little bit of torque right there, boom, into the dirt, and then he gets a double team to the next level, as we like to say from the offensive line talk. You get a double to the next level here on Mansour Delane, puts a shoulder into him, boom, to the ground you go. That's what you want. I love seeing the effort, the actual technique, and the ability from a blocking perspective of Xavier Restrepo that's going to take that to the next level. Offensive coordinators, offensive coaches are going to absolutely love this guy. And that's what he brings from a true competitive nature. And that goes to every single aspect of his game. Like I said, you can play him on the line, off the line, it doesn't matter. He has quick releases, he uses his hands, and he's able to really get exactly what he wants. He wants an inside release. He wants to get across on this post route that he's going to run across the formation. This is exactly how you want to do it. Head fake to the outside. More so body fake, but little outside jab. Move that DB off just a little bit, and then you can win right across. And then what he does from the stem standpoint is he creates that vertical push, okay? He's going to get vertical, sell that body fake, a little bit of head lean to the outside, and then post right across the face, boom, all the way across the field. And this is perfectly done and executed not just on Restrepo's part, but from Cam Ward as well. He puts this in a perfect spot in between the two defenders. And as you can see on the end zone angle, he was already scanning the left side of the field before he got there. And he knows exactly where to put this. And again, you get to see the inside look here at Restrepo. Let me move this up out of your way a little bit so you can see how quick he is in and out of this break. Boom. It's just a little bit of jab to the outside, and then he goes right around over the face, and then hand usage. Get his hands off me, dip his shoulder just a little bit, just that little head fake at the top, and then he breaks open. And then Cam Ward, there's that beautiful pass. And the hands, my guy. This guy does not drop anything. He has fantastic hands at every level. He's not a contested catch guy, but he competes at every time he's thrown the football. And here again, you get him on the move. Doesn't matter if he's on the line or off the line, but he's going to be used in a lot of different ways. Create problems, create mismatches, let him use his quickness and that instant acceleration to be able to create space for himself. Use whatever you have to, right? Use whatever you need to create a pick. The route spacing is a little bit suspect, in my opinion, on a lot of these plays. When you watch Miami's offense, a lot of the receivers don't really know where to be. But watch as he's going to create this little pick. And he uses his body right there. He kind of turns his shoulders. Look, he's getting a little bit sideways because he knows he has to get through here. That's great, like, understanding and having that spatial awareness to know this player or this DB or this referee is in my way. I can use my body, turn my shoulders a little bit, and create that space because he knows the DB is not going to be able to do that. He's not going to be able to do that. And as soon as even if he does, he's going to be behind me and I'm going to be wide open. So there again, this time he jumps back for the football that was thrown a little bit behind him, shields the ball from the player, and then gets hit out of bounds. The compete level from this guy is outstanding. He does everything you ask of him. And this is what I really like to see. The understanding that we talked about the spatial awareness just a second ago, but the catch understanding. This is a way. If I keep running and reach behind me, I'm going to miss this. I'm not going to be able to catch it. And there's a good chance that the DB is going to take this. So he jumps and it throws the timing off from him and the ball. It creates that hesitation because usually when you jump, obviously, your momentum is no longer moving forward in the same exact way. That acceleration isn't there anymore. And then he competes after the catch to be able to get going. So all of that understanding that you have to, all the thinking you have to do in these quick moments that he's able to showcase all the different skills in these couple of plays shows you just how smart of a player he is. And like I said, he's going to be in this more likely a slot receiver in the NFL, but there's so much nuance to his game. He's going to be able to play against anybody you want him to. And look how he's just deking guys out. And he really is good post route as well. And what I mean by post route is you have your route to run, right? A lot of times you'll see quarterbacks get out of the pocket. And when you're done running your route, what are you doing next? How are you getting open? How are you becoming friendly to your quarterback? So post route space finding is a huge part of today's NFL. Look at the quarterbacks: Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. These guys are all second reaction type players as well. And look at what he's able to do. He just finds space. He's running his double move, his post move. He gets right here, and then he goes across field. Okay, instead of continuing upfield, he finds space. He gets into it. And this is exactly what you want. You've got defensive players here. You have defensive players underneath. You would love to have seen Cam Ward get out and then find him over the middle of the field. He doesn't do it, but he keeps working. He doesn't stop moving. He keeps going. Cam Ward retraces, he steps, comes back, and he's like, I'm open. Throw my hand up. I'm right here. I'm in space. So the route is awesome. Let's talk about the route, because I could talk about this guy for a very long time. So he comes in and gets up the field. He's going to self vertical, right? Head usage. Head, shoulders. I'm running a slant, okay? That's what I'm telling the DB. I'm running a slant. But guess what? I'm going to stop. And I'm going to come back straight. Oh, wait, I'm going to make you think I'm coming to the corner, and I'm going right back. It's so much fun to watch this guy, and I can't believe, honestly, that I have waited this long to see him. He's a fifth-year senior, which I didn't expect when I was watching him, and I'm going back, and I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. The nuance that he has, the space finding, the second reaction plays, all of that stuff makes so much sense. He's experienced. He's going to come into an NFL team, wherever it is, and he can vie for like that number 3 receiver role. Look at guys like Josh Downs, Jaden Reed with the Packers and the Colts. They've come in and been impactful players. He can do that on a lot of teams because he has that understanding, the defensive understanding against zone to sit down. Speed dilation, which we're talking about right now. If you guys had missed, I've talked about speed dilation a lot with wide receivers. Being able to play with different speeds. So a lot of times in your release or your stem, you're selling something, right? So he's going to come out of this little speed post right here, and he's going to sell a little bit slowly. And what that does is it forces this DB to hesitate, essentially. So he doesn't hit full speed until he's nearly parallel with him right here. Just he doesn't sell it right away, and then he puts on the gas and it's over. He's able to mess with speeds and not always go 100 miles an hour. That's how you can sell and really play with DBs. And right there, he does a really nice job of, again, setting it back, not always being 100 miles an hour, and then accelerating through that break. And look how much separation he creates and gets into it. And then he turns into a running back. He is not going to wow you at the next level with all the different like quick twitch moves and tackle breaking stuff, but he's good enough to make a guy miss. He turns into more of a running back where he's going to put his shoulder down, grind out some yards like we saw earlier in the tape, and where he got hit out of bounds that one time. So he does a very, very good job of playing with speeds, using his route nuance, understanding of space, timing, everything like that to really excel, not just as a wide receiver, but as a quarterback's friend. You see the connection that he and Cam Ward have. It's very apparent. This game against Cal was a good one for him. And obviously Cam Ward had to come back in this football game. But playing against press is not always going to be the easiest thing in the world. So we want to look at the technique. What is he doing? Is he just running his shoulder into the chest and trying to, use speed to just get off? No. What is he doing? He's a little bit of hesitation, and then he's going to use hand usage. He tries multiple different ways to get across. This guy ends up holding him. So we just want to take out of these reps what you can when you're looking at the press. So let's see it from the end zone angle to really get a better idea of what he's doing. And that's where you're going to see he's down here, right there. And then watch his hands as we go through the rep. Okay, a little bit of hesitation, square release. He slaps down, and then he tries to lean into the defender right here, and then break off. And he tries to do it twice, but he's being held. So we have the technique to beat press. Using your hands, leaning, head usage at the top, underneath. He tried to get rid of him the first time, he got held. He tried to get rid of him the second time, and he got held. So we have the foundation technique to beat press. Sometimes you're going to get held. It is what it is. You're not going to get open on every single route that you run against press coverage. But sometimes in the NFL, those are going to get called because we know that holding a little bit in college football is almost expected. A lot of times you see this get called at the NFL level. So using what he's continuing to do in that regard is going to continue to be, is going to pay dividends for him at the NFL level because he has all that nuance and understanding. He's not going to be a guy you want to line up on the outside and say, run past this guy, because that's not his game. And even when you get him all alone in space, he does not have this top speed to break away. This should be a touchdown, right? He's going to come out here and he's going to come underneath. He should be able to, get out here and run this in, but he doesn't. He gets caught from behind. He doesn't have that true getaway speed. But still, he could generate big plays in space. And as a number 3, number 2 option, if that's what you end up having him as in your offense, is not a bad thing. He can be the guy to take some of the space advantage from your number 1. You know how a lot of offenses will create with, Nico Collins, for example, who's able to beat every type of coverage, but he brings a lot of defensive gravity to him. Xavier Restrepo is a guy who can take advantage of that space created because he knows how to get into it. He's so savvy and nuanced in his route running, and then just able to make some guys miss in space that he can create big explosives off of that. But what he does from a vertical selling standpoint is really the key here. You talk about speed's only useful if, right? Speed's only useful if you can decelerate and change direction off of it. So he's able to sell different routes. He can decelerate. He's able to change directions at top speed as well. But what I want to focus on here is in conjunction with the play. So Cam Ward is going to be pump faking to the flat right here. And then you got a corner behind it. So he's going to pump to the flat, and they're going to create some space on the right-hand side with that pump fake. So you're going to see, again, they go out here, number 3, and then we have the pump right there. And that just forces this DB right out here to just be a slight, just a little hesitant. So you have the safety out here, and then Cam's going to throw this football away from the underneath defender and then a little bit closer to that safety. And Restrepo, does a really nice job of identifying that this football is coming underneath. I have an overtop defender and one underneath. I need to jump, use my body as a shield so he cannot get there. That's the type of, like we talked about earlier, with the high level thinking. How quickly do you have to think to be able to execute these plays? And on this corner route, he knows he's got an underneath defender, an overtop defender. So he's going to jump and shield the football right here with his body, and he's going to compete. He's going to come down with this football while he's getting tackled. So we've seen a ton of different useful tools from Xavier Restrepo, who's not going to be a guy that wins a ton on the outside, but he has quickness to be able to use in those slants and quick area, short area usage and things like that on the outside to still be useful enough that you can line them up out there and he can win quickly in the short to intermediate department. And I really love what he brings from that regard. So I'm watching Cam Ward and I'm like, this guy keeps catching my eye, and this is exactly why. Cam Ward's talent is able to take advantage of all the different nuanced level and thought processing that Xavier Restrepo brings. He's going to be a very useful player at the next level. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of one, in my opinion, one of the more underrated receivers in this draft class. He's a very good prospect, and he's going to come in. I hate the term NFL ready, but he's already so good at finding those spaces and soft spots and zones. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed it to see more of what he brings. Really one of the only guys on that offense that's helping out Cam Ward outside their tight end. So have yourselves a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.